Good afternoon and welcome to the third edition of Inside Camp Delta. It's day 3, a Wednesday, a hot evening, probably the hottest day of practice so far. We're going to examine the playmaking side of the defense, the cornerbacks today, cornerbacks and safeties in the secondary. James, what about this group kind of gets you excited going into year 2 of this defense?
Talking to the coaches earlier today, one word: size. These guys are all 6'2", 6'3". They can run, they can tackle, they can hit. We got safeties who will embarrass the opposition by how hard they're going to hit them. They're going to cause a lot of fumbles, pick off a couple passes. We got corners who can just lock down the receivers in this conference. They practice against the best offense in this conference every day out here on our field. So it's going to be a playmaking defense. They're going to look to set the tone, pick off a couple passes, break them up at worst, and cause some turnovers.
Yeah, no, Coach Kevin Peters talked about the safeties kind of being an assassin in this unit. What does that mean to kind of have a group kind of coin themselves that nickname, and then, I mean, that's a nickname you're going to have to back up, right?
Yeah, when you give yourself a nickname like that, you need to walk the walk if you're going to talk that talk, and they're going to play physical. We have one safety, Rico Beckwith, who's probably one of the hardest hitters in this conference. It's going to be a fun group to watch and develop over the season.
You talk about kind of a wild card in this secondary. You got John Knox coming back to play safety in this group. A guy who hasn't played football in a while, but at times played at the highest level of college football.
Yeah, he's from a small town in Georgia, Statesboro, Georgia. Ended up playing at the University of Georgia for a year. He's been out of football for about 6 years. He's in contention right now at one of the strong safety spots. He's an interesting character to keep an eye on, and not to overlook. We have returners at Rover and Richard Nash, and over there at the corner, Frankie Lee's back. Romello Wilson got a lot of playing time last year. He picked up a start at corner. Then we got 3 new guys who are making a name so far from the cell side: Greg Sims, Jordan Howard, and Cedric Tillman. And Howard is an interesting to watch also because he's going to be in the mix for returner both as kickoff and punt.
And today, being the first day that we're in shells, what does it kind of mean to have these defensive guys kind of put on those pads for the first time, kind of start getting those reps together and playing against the offensive guys? As Kevin Peters said, the wide receivers aren't just wearing their tights anymore. They got to go full go now.
Yeah, Kevin Peters put it very nicely earlier that now the defensive backs can start being physical, can start playing this game the way that they played on game days. They're allowed to hit the receivers. They're allowed to bump them off their routes. It's not pitching and catching on the offense make it look easy. It's looking more and more like a football game.
Now you talk about this group that now necessarily didn't thrive in 2013, but what's going to kind of make the difference in 2014 from them going to maybe a defense that kind of made plays when they needed to, into defense that makes plays at all times?
Got to look at the experience. There's not a senior in this group at either the safety or at the corner position, but they all got a lot of repetitions last year. So they've played in a lot of games. They've played together. This is most of them their second year in the program. Just being through the battles last year and now through camp, in their second year, look to improve on what they did last season for us.
All right, that's going to be it for today's edition of Inside Camp Delta. Tomorrow we're going to examine the wide receivers and skill positions on the offensive end. But for Scott Wyant and James Vallone, you've been listening to Inside Camp Delta. For more information, check out GoStatesman.com.